Hi there. These are some yin and motion movements that I call joint washing. And that means they'll kind of rinse out your neck, your shoulders, your spine. So some really nice mobility work. You could do this pretty much anytime, anywhere. If you can just grab a little patch of floor, you can see I'm wearing my jeans, right? Nothing fancy required, just a little bit of space and a little bit of time. So let's get started. I'm gonna wrap my right arm in front of my left arm, and I call this coiling because I'm sort of creating this coil around my center with my arms. And then I'm just gonna shift my weight from right to left. I can support my head by resting my chin on my front arm. And that gives me the opportunity to let my head and neck flow side to side with just a little bit of support. I can also lift my head up and let my head and neck sort of flop a little bit. And if that feels good, you can try that. Now, a couple of ideas about where to place your arms. You can wiggle them a little bit further forward so they're farther away from your chest. And some people find this more useful for stretching across their back and down their outer arms. Or you can do the opposite. You can wiggle your arms underneath you and sort of crush them under you, right? Put your whole body weight on top. Same thing, rolling side to side. And some people find this more helpful when trying to broaden across their back so as to get that stretch from your spine out towards your sides. But some people find that a little bit uncomfortable for their chest. So you can wiggle your arms forward or back. And then see if you can find a position you can settle into where when you lean that way, when you shift your weight that way, you feel a stretch either down your outer upper arm or across your back or some nice combination of the two. And then we'll just take a couple of breaths here. So while you're here, take advantage of the fact that the back of your body is a little bit spread. That space behind your lungs and heart is broad. And breathe into that space. So inhale and fill the space behind your lungs and heart, and then exhale, soften. It's almost like the space behind your lungs and heart was a balloon, and you're breathing in and slowly inflating, and then exhale, deflating. Couple more times, breathing in and out, breathing in and out. We're going to come out, uncoil your arms, and take your arms out to the side. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas about how to do this, but what we're going to do is tap one shoulder towards the ground and then the other. So my left shoulder taps and then my right. And I'll just swivel a little bit so you can see both sides. If it's comfortable for you, place your forehead on the earth. And this might get you a nice little stretch up the back of your wrist. And it's a good way to stimulate your hands and your fingers. So just rocking and tapping. Left shoulder to the ground, right shoulder. You can see my body weight shifts a little bit, left and right. But I'm also really pressing. I'm using muscular effort to press my shoulder towards the ground, and I can feel that nicely all the way around my shoulders and along my spine. Now, other places you can put your arms: out wide to the side. This just takes the movement into some slightly different pathways along your arms and around your shoulders. You can also take your hands closer to your hips. And same thing, just a little shoulder shimmy, right? Tapping the ground. And then we'll come in and just take a little rest. So hands go anywhere it's comfortable. And enjoy a few cycles of breath here. And then we'll come up and do the second side with that coil. So left arm now in front of right arm. And again, now you're seeing it a little bit more from the front. So you can see I'm shifting my body weight a little bit side to side. I can keep my head and neck up if that feels best and gets me the nicest stretch on my outer arm or across my back. Or I can bow my head forward, use my arms to support my chin, and rock here. I can push my arms into the ground a little, and sometimes just this slight press into the ground helps you get a little bit more of a stretch along your outer arms, or again, even across your back. And that other variation was crushing my arms underneath me, right? So putting the whole weight of my upper body on top of my arms. This is really helpful for some people and really uncomfortable for others. And you'll probably know right away which category you fall into. The other thing you can do is go further forward with your arms. And some people find this more helpful. You'll find that perfect resting place for you. Lay your head down so that you can relax your head and your neck, soften your jaw. And take a few smooth breaths. See if you can breathe into that space behind your lungs and heart. Filling your back body like a balloon as you breathe in and deflating the balloon as you breathe out. And then we'll come out, and this time, instead of shimmying your shoulders around, we'll just come up and turn so you can see me more clearly. And you'll support yourself up on your elbows and forearms. So we'll shift side to side. So I'm pressing into my right arm and my left arm, and I'm using that press to help me rock right and left. And as I do this, as I come to my right, I can feel a little squeeze on the right side of my spine. And as I come to my left, I can feel a little squeeze on the left side of my spine. I'm also getting some little movements, tiny stretches between my ribs on either side. All right. And it's just flows a little energy through my arms and up my chest and along my spine. So a lot going on here actually when you add this little side to side motion. And then we'll come in and settle in like we did in our coiled movement for a few cycles of breath. So just pressing down into the earth enough through your hands and fingers, elbows and forearms so that you can have your chest lifted. If it's comfortable, you can lift your gaze. If you find that you're tensing at the tops of your shoulders or the sides of your neck, then one thing you can do is just very slowly turn, looking right and looking left. Or you could even make little circles with your head and neck so that you're disrupting any habit of tensing or gripping at the base of your neck, base of your skull. And one last little tip, we're here just for a few more breaths, is if it feels like your head is just, nothing you're doing is able to disrupt that tensing, then you can put your thumbs right here, hook them underneath your chin, and that just gives you a little extra support for your head and might allow you to even push up a little with your thumbs so you can tilt your head back and then come back down So this little rocking movement can also be really helpful in our quick little, I call these little movement snacks that you can nibble on during the day, as long as you have 5 or 10 minutes and a little bit of space. All right, and then again, if you've got a few moments to spare, come down, rest, and just notice the flow of your breath. You don't have to do anything special with your breath. You can just let it flow naturally. And now you're ready to go back to your day or to start your day after a little bit of nutritious movement.